And this is Coach Lauren, Emetophobia specialist, and today I want to celebrate moms. No matter what kind you are, you can even be a stepmom like me. We've all experienced mom guilt, especially with emetophobia. Emetophobia tends to really magnify these feelings. Have you ever felt guilty for even having mom guilt? Well, the good news is it's actually a sign that you care a lot, not proof of failure. Sometimes some really unhelpful lenses like perfectionism can drive this limiting belief. But let's start off on a good note. So what do you love about being a mom or a step-parent? So let's talk about being a mom and being hypervigilant. Well, all parents are a little bit hypervigilant, naturally. But if you have emetophobia, this can look like monitoring your child's health, looking for signs of weakness. Every burp or change in their skin color feels like a threat. You're constantly scanning for signs of danger or illness. So a recent study in developmental psychology found that mothers with high anxiety tend to be more hypervigilant. That definitely makes sense because when you have emetophobia, you're living in the stress red zone almost all the time. So in what ways are you hypervigilant with your children? So another study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that self-compassion, which is being kind to yourself rather than critical, significantly reduces mom guilt. It's important to accept that just because you're struggling with this fear, that doesn't define your entire motherhood. Just knowing that helps reduce self-judgment and opens the door for change. You can work on all of these things that are driving mom guilt in your emetophobia free program. You're going to be a lot more fun and spontaneous when you reduce your avoidance and safety seeking. That can kind of create a sense of irritability and snappiness because you feel like you have to over control because you're not safe. Do you tend to get a little bit cranky or irritable with your kids because of emetophobia? So the last thing I want to talk about here is perfectionism, a really unhelpful thinking style. I bet you know that perfectionistic thinking is a major driver in mom guilt, and one of my favorite things to work on in the emetophobia free program. It's okay to want to be an awesome mom, but we don't want to set unrealistic expectations for ourselves and then feel like a failure when we don't meet them. You probably don't realize how well you're already doing. I bet your friends and family would tell you how amazing you are, how much you love, care, and sacrifice for your kids. So what is the link to emetophobia then? Well, if you have a bit of perfectionism, you might believe that you have to handle every parenting challenge flawlessly. And of course, if you struggle a bit with your child being sick, you might see yourself as an unfit mother, but that's not true. In this case, it's called self-oriented perfectionism. You're writing really hard rules and standards for yourself, and the pressure to be a perfect mom leads to increased stress, guilt, and self-criticism. It's like a cycle. So in what ways are you being a perfectionistic mom? The great news is when you go through your emetophobia free program, not only do you overcome your emetophobia, but you'll work on that harsh, critical inner voice, your perfectionistic lenses, you're hypervigilant, learning to not compare yourselves with others. And what does that look like? How do you do that? And I think most importantly, really how to be kind to yourself. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're having a wonderful, happy Mother's Day week. If you're a mom, you rock. Even if you have a little bit of fear being sick right now. But just know you don't have to live with that.